Hey, so a few days ago I did another video on some of the stuff that I had been reading that the mental health practitioner had given me and just how helpful I was finding it. But then my phone broke and I completely lost all of it. So I'm gonna try and remember what I had said. I'm not actually, I've still got like my first two videos that I've put up about all this on my phone. So like I'm trying to do a video every few days, more just to kind of remind myself of how I'm feeling and to kind of be able to look back and reflect on it and like kind of as a progression thing. But at the moment it's still also new and also raw that I can't actually face watching those videos. So I don't really remember what I said in them, and I'm not ready to go back and actually watch them to then help me discuss this one, because I'm kind of just doing it as and when it comes and as things are hitting me, just so that because I know that in a few months or something like that, like when I feel better, I'm gonna be like, oh, I feel a lot better, I don't need to worry about this, and then I could forget, and I don't want to forget this. Like, I think this is a really life-changing moment for me, and I really need to use this opportunity to sort myself out, and I don't want to fall back into bad habits. Like, I want to make changes that are lifestyle, and I want something to kind of hold me accountable for that reason. And so I kind of thought maybe videoing how I was feeling as I was going through it would be really, really helpful with that. And it has been. I think I said on my other one, it's been really therapeutic. But I'm just not ready yet to actually watch them back. I will. I think it will be all part of like my healing process. But at the moment, I'm just not ready for it. So yeah, I did a couple of days, and then I did a couple more days, and then the two that I did, I kind of lost. And it was just really kind of saying like some of the stuff that the mental health practitioner had sent me. One of the articles, like leaflets that she had sent, was on anxiety, and that was so helpful, so helpful. I took notes while I was reading it, and it was just like it explained what anxiety was and all about how, you know, it kind of stems from the fight or flight reflexes in you. Like, you know, back in the day when you would bump into a lion and you're like, oh, the adrenaline would hit you and it's fight, you fight, stay, fight the lion, or you scarper. And I knew kind of that was like slightly what like your anxiety levels and your stress levels spiking was. But because like you get it all the time, you get it like when you are going to take a test. Do you know the butterflies in your stomach that you get? Or if you're going for an interview or something, that nervous feeling that you kind of get. And that's what I thought it was. And I was like, I've had that before. I guess that was a little bit of anxiety, but I was like, that's nothing compared to how I've been feeling. So that's why I questioned if it really was anxiety I was feeling. So I was kind of like, right, okay, so it is kind of that, but it's completely different. But then the leaflet's really good because it goes through like symptoms of anxiety, not just mentally, but like what you're feeling in your head, your behaviours, your body's reaction, and it kind of gives you a list of descriptions. And reading that was just like floodgates opening. It was so good, and the only way I can explain, like, I've been trying to find a word to explain how I've been feeling, because I kind of feel like I use stress and anxiety, but I'm still trying to grasp them myself and understand them better. And I think the best word at the moment to describe all of it has been overwhelming. I'm so overwhelmed by everything. Everything. Just the word keeps popping up and I'm like, overwhelmed. That's it. And at points, like, I really felt like I was losing my mind. Like, this is it. This is what someone who, like, might be losing their mind feels like. I might actually need to go and commit myself. And that's, again, my go-to phrase. That sounds awfully dramatic. But I like that. That's honestly how I was feeling. And this leaflet literally at one point says, you will actually feel like you are going crazy. You will feel like you are going mad, because it's just a cycle. Like, you start to feel these emotions and then you start to ponder on them, which makes you feel worse, and especially if you don't understand them. So then they get worse, and then you focus on them more, and it's just this vicious cycle, and you can't really get out of it. And yeah, like there's a point in this leaflet and it does say, you are not going crazy. This is normal. And I'm just like, not going crazy. I am not going crazy. I'm just having a moment. And yeah, it was such a helpful leaflet. And then after that, it goes into kind of ways to, like, things that trigger anxiety and stresses, ways you can recognize it and start to work on those triggers, so that in the future, when you start to realize you're being triggered, you can kind of take a step back, realize exactly what's happening, and then ways to resolve the situations and ways to look at it and to try and bring yourself down from it. And it was a really, really good leaflet. I would really, if anyone is in this situation and they've spoken to a doctor or that, and they like minded, is like, I've sent you an email with all these attachments. I think there's like 8 attachments, all random different things, and one of them is about anxiety, and it's an NHS leaflet. I would definitely recommend reading it, because it's really, really good and just very simplistic, no jargon, just simple language, and it just breaks everything down so much more easier for you. So I found that really, really helpful. So I decided after that I was just going to do one document a day or every few days, because I just didn't want to read everything and overwhelm myself with it and forget about it. Like, I really wanted to immerse myself in it. So I kind of did the video on the anxiety leaflet and was like, this is what I found. I found it really good and really helpful. And then I think the following day or the day after that, I read the one, and it's on emotional behaviour. And that one was really, really good as well. So that was all about why we have emotions. Like, it literally opened up with, why do you have emotions? And what they mean for us, and like how they're like messages. Like, emotions are your body telling you something. They're your body telling you stuff. And again, I was like, okay, yeah, I guess I kind of thought that, but I didn't actually really give it much thought about why we have emotions, why we feel fear, anger, contentment, happiness, sadness. And this all goes on about as well, like, how you, again, like, recognize your behaviors, and how your mind is. It's a triangle, actually. It's a behavior. Was it behavior, mind, and there's something else, and I've completely forgotten. I'll look at it again and I'll try and remember. And it's like how your emotions come through on all these 3 triangles, and from it, like how you react, and the different ways you react to different emotions. So if you're angry, you might lash out or you might clamp down. And it goes into how we all have a zone. And if you go outside of your zone, you're too hypersensitive, or you shut down, basically. And you need to really keep in your zone for your emotions. But something it did say, which it never really occurred to me, but it's true, it's like, you need to know how to manage your emotions, and you need to know how to do it in a positive, right way that works for you. Because emotions are messages being given to you, and if you ignore those messages, your body's not going to stop giving them to you. It's going to keep giving them to you, and actually it'll just get worse and worse and worse, and it will just build up and build up and build up. And that's how people can actually get into a really negative way, like if they suppress their emotions, or if maybe they've been brought up in like abusive households and stuff like that, so they don't know how to positively express their emotions, or at least handle the emotions that they're feeling. You know, you can go down quite dark route. And that had never occurred to me, like that if you're got an emotion and you're just ignoring it, your body's just going to keep telling you. And that might seem really daft to people, like, oh, how could you not know that? But actually, no, I didn't. And so, of course, if you're not handling it the right way, like, thinking now on some of my situations, like, I was a bit of an ostrich. I'd stick my head in the sand, or I just didn't want to have to deal with it. So I just kept ignoring it because I just think, oh, it'll get better, it'll be fine. Well, no, it's not. And no wonder why it got to such a point, like, where it's just silent. And then suddenly you're like, I can't do this. No. Shutters come down. Like, now that must just be because you get to a point where you're like, no, like, this needs to be handled. And yeah, and I could see how easily it would be then at that point just to be like, do you know what, I'm going to go and get a bottle of wine, and how that bottle could turn into 2 or 3 or 4, you know. But no, that was a really, really good one too. And then I think like the day after that I kind of looked at was it a breathing one or a mindfulness one? This is just a really quick leaflet for 2 pages. So I just had a quick look over it. I didn't actually look much into it, but I'm going to look more into it probably next week, along with the other couple that are there as well. Those are the 2 longest ones, the emotional behaviours one and the anxiety one. They were about 20 to 30 pages long. The rest of them are just kind of 2-page leaflets about breathing, calmness exercises, mindfulness exercises, and support websites as well. So I'm going to have a look into them. I do feel like I'm doing a bit better, but it's 12 o'clock at night, like 12:30 at night, and I couldn't sleep because my mind was just busy thinking about what's next, you know, I think my big thing was financials. Like suddenly, like, do you know when you're lying in your bed and you just start to cling to something and it goes round and round in your head? Mine was, are we going to be financially stable? Now, I know rationally we're going to be fine financially. I do. But I just couldn't seem to shift it, so I thought I'd come downstairs and get a cup of, I got some ginger tea, and just take 5 minutes. I'm not even going to lie, I've actually looked at our finance sheet and it's told me exactly what I know, that in the worst case scenario we're going to be fine. But just looking at those figures, just for a quick 10 minutes, just helped me. So I think I'll be able to go back up and go to sleep now. My 1.5-year-old has decided he doesn't want to sleep tonight, so I can actually hear him upstairs chatting away to himself. I think he is officially going through a sleep regression, so his poor father is looking after him. I should probably actually be up there helping him. Instead, I'm downstairs looking at figures that I've looked at multiple times before over the course of the year. But I think I just needed to do that. I either needed to do that or I needed to sit and write down what was worrying me and put the piece of paper away, because I knew I wouldn't be able to sleep any longer if I couldn't do that. So yeah, and then I just thought I would come on here quickly and just get it out. Talking about it verbally is really helping me. I feel like I'm going around in circles and saying and like and a lot. I keep putting my hands to my mouth and touching my face, which is like obstructive, I guess. So I don't know if I'm being very clear, but at the moment I don't really care about that. I care about sorting my head out, and talking helps. So yeah, no, that's what I figured I would do. So now I'm going to take, it's my tea. My tea is perfect drinking temperature, so I'm going to gobble this down, go upstairs, check on my 1.5-year-old and try and get sleep, because I need to be up in 6 hours. Maybe 7. Maybe make it 7. Maybe we'll have all alliance because we're all awake. apart from my poor dog who's on the couch, like, get out of my room, get out. I just want to go to bed. But yeah, so hopefully this video saves. We'll see.